And good afternoon, and welcome to Straight Talk, your Drive at 5 show. This is Catherine Tyson, your host. And thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It is Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. You know, we talk about your health, we talk about how you're feeling, we're talking about how you're taking care of yourself. And you know, I believe it's really about the mind, the body, the spirit, everything. So you can't be your best self if your head's not in the right place, if your body's not in the right place. You're not taking care of yourself if any of those things are lacking. So 100%, that's what we do on Wellness Wednesdays. We talk about your health, and we talk about some of the things going on to ensure that
good stuff is
happening in your life for sure. This afternoon, I've got quite a few things that I'm going to chat about with you, and of course, I want you to call me. So 943-3700. I'd love to hear from you if you have anything on your mind, any thoughts about what's happening out there in the community, or any thoughts on Wellness Wednesday or anything. I just would love for you to give me a call this afternoon. I am joined today, though, and I'm very excited by my friend girl, Miss Cheryl Cole. Hi, Cheryl Cole. How you doing?
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. Okay, so Cheryl's my friend, and she just stopped and we were chatting a little bit. And I said, you can come on the radio with me and talk with me on Wellness Wednesday. She was like, what?
So how does that
feel?
Great.
All right. Cheryl is we go way back from high school days. So she's the person
who knows your age.
those friends that you have. So you can be playing that you look young. They're like,
weren't we in school in 1980? Hush, girls. We were in school.
She's that friend. So thank you so much.
So thank you so much for stepping in. And I know actually
you're back home now.
You were actually living in the UK for some time.
Yes, I did 7 years over there in the UK.
Wow. So how does that feel actually now being here, but seeing what's going on over there? Because I'm sure that became your home then, right?
Yes, it did. I had to go back to that style. I had a goal. I reached that goal. I'm here back home now, and it's great. It's great.
And that was law school,
wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm very inspired.
We talk about
going for it yesterday on the show. I talked about all of the kind of career options. I talked about scholarship opportunities because I really want Caymanians to know that there are opportunities for us to further our education and to not feel like we can't do it. Everybody else is doing it. No, we actually can. So you're that inspiration for me and for a lot of us that grab the horn by the bull, the bull by the horn, and said, I'm going to go. I'm going to go away. I'm going to leave my country, go very far away, because I am going to educate myself. And even though someone might say, oh, well, at this age, are you going to do that? And you're like, no, I'm going to do it.
Right. I did get a lot of discouragement. People did question me, being the age of 48 after being married, had 3 kids, 2 of which is grown. But that didn't stop me. My mind was made up, and it was time to do me.
And that's so good. That is really good, because what I also said yesterday was the investment in education is a payoff. It pays off in the end, even though it takes that much out of you. Your world just opens up.
Yes, it opens you up to a whole new world. The world you didn't even realize was before you.
Now, what would you tell
people who are saying, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'd want to go that far away from home? What would you tell them? What are some of the things that you've learned?
It's actually, it was inspiring for me to leave Cayman and go after my dream, going there, and I didn't even know I had family there, but I went because I knew what I wanted to do, and you just have to go after your dream and just pursue it, and it happens. People are put in place to help you through your dreams, and it's all a big world to you. I mean, everything is just there.
So
Yeah.
what are
So
some of the
what are
good
some of
things?
the good things? What are some of the highlights of England,
moving away
of
from
moving
Cayman?
away
Give
from
us some of the
Cayman? So
good
give us
stuff.
some of the
What are
good
some of the
stuff.
good things
What are
that
some
you
of the
missed?
good things that you missed?
Oh,
The things that I missed
the things that I miss from Cayman, I definitely miss the sun. It made me to appreciate more our beaches and the sun and the,
lovely
the
weather.
lovely weather. But nevertheless, I mean, I was coming home on holidays and I was still come home and enjoy the sun.
What did you love about England?
Oh,
Oh,
prices.
cheap
Yeah,
prices.
Yeah, that was
The
nice.
prices are
Food is
cheap.
cheap.
Food is cheap. The shopping, and
The train
the train rides, going to different places, and
So cost of living was definitely a thing, right?
Yes.
A good thing.
Yes,
And
it was.
also,
You just mentioned the train. So being able to travel,
like all over,
like right in that country, like being able to take a train and you end up in Paris as well.
Exactly, within 2-3 hours, you could be from London to Nottingham or to Birmingham.
Yeah.
A whole different atmosphere, and you're meeting different people, and that's just the way it is. It's a whole different world.
And had you ever been that far away from home?
No, I hadn't.
No, I hadn't. That was my first time going so far away.
It was like baptism by fire.
Definitely.
Definitely. I was on a mission.
It was a
Yeah.
mission.
It was a mission.
Yeah, and so you took a child with you, did you?
Yes, my son was 3 years old at the time.
Oh, wow.
He just had his third birthday, and I just divorced, and I took him with me.
So you were like, you know what? I'm just going to renew myself.
It was
and I'm
about
just gonna
me.
It was
start
about
over.
me. It was my time. It was time to do something for me, make life better for me. So when it comes to you, never feel guilty when someone tells you that you're being selfish when it comes to doing something good for yourself.
Sometimes you have to be.
You have to be selfish
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
And if that's what it takes, baby,
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, I've coined a new term. I call it self-full.
Like I have to be
Instead of it being selfish, because it's like selfish sounds like, oh my goodness, like, you know, thinking of no one else. But you know what? We think about people all the time. It's nothing wrong with us thinking about ourselves too. It's nothing wrong with feeling ourselves.
Absolutely.
And making
Absolutely.
sure that you're okay. Because I know, for instance, we're going to talk a little bit about parenting today as well on this Wellness Wednesdays. We can get around to it.
I know as a parent,
it's hard for you to give your best if you are not at your best.
Exactly.
So you have to fill your tank also. And so but I've kind of turned that term from selfish into self-full. It's like, no, I'm going to be filling myself right now. And I'm not, doesn't mean that I don't care about anyone else. It just means that I also have to care about me.
Exactly.
And that's important because your children are now learning from that example as well. And if they can be self-full for a minute, they can say, you know what, she deserves that. She deserves to take care of herself. You know, I have these grown people around me. Go ahead, mommy. Travel, do this, do whatever. And that feels good for them to be able to say, you know what, do you take care of you.
Exactly.
And so this
Wellness Wednesdays is something that we kind of adopted just to talk about that, just to kind of get the focus on our health, get the focus on ourselves. And so thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, Cheryl. I'm excited about our conversation that we will have. Now, what is holistic health? According to the dictionary, the word holistic is defined as characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole.
So when we use
the word in reference to our health, what we mean is the picture of health that includes not only the obvious physical factors, but mental, emotional, social, and even spiritual factors as well. It seems that we have forgotten the idea that health encompasses not just the absence of physical disease, but involves healthy habits, healthy thoughts,
coping mechanisms,
and peaceful ways of relating to our environment and to others. Health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit. When one is free from physical disabilities and mental distractions, the gates of the soul open.
That's very powerful.
That's very powerful.
That is
the truth.
That's the truth.
If you're not okay mentally, you're not at your best. If you're not okay physically, you're not at your best. So it's all encompassing, one thing, one greater whole. And to ensure good health, you have to eat lightly. This is what William London. This is a quote. To ensure good health, eat lightly, breathe deeply, live moderately, cultivate cheerfulness, and maintain an interest in life. I love that.
That
is the truth.
That is the truth. When we face each day with an excitement, like, okay, what am I going to accomplish today? What am I going to, experience today? Yeah.
Look to your goals and see where,
what do I want to
what do I
achieve?
want to achieve?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where do I want to go from here?
And life is a journey. It's not a destination. That's just a cliche quote, but it's the truth. It's a journey. It's not like, okay, I'm here, we're done. No, every day it's something new. And I tell my young people, I tell students, like to start every day with a clean slate.
Okay, what are you going to
put on that slate today? What are you going to paint on that canvas today? And so every time you wake up in the morning, you think, okay, here's my clean slate. How do I do it better than I did yesterday? How do I ensure that everything that I've done today is something that has helped promote somebody or promote well-being in someone or promote good feelings in someone? And if there were some ugly things that might have happened yesterday, forgive yourself, breathe, get through it, and see if you can do it better today. And I think that clean slate theory for me just works for me because it just makes me feel renewed every day, an opportunity to do it better.
Because sometimes
we wake up and we have like that down feeling and we don't even know where it's coming from. It's like, all right, how do I get myself out of this? How do I
remain cheerful?
And how do I, try to help someone else? Yeah, that's very, very important. So
I wanted to say,
my condolences, of course, but also just to pay tribute to Miss Teresa Eleanor Chin, and the condolences to the family. I went to her celebration of life on this past Sunday, and let me tell you, it was the most amazing celebration of somebody's life, and just all the joy and all the people that she has touched in her life. She and I shared parenting duties for our two sons. I have 2 sons and a daughter. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and one of her children, a son, is one of my sons, one of my sons' best friends. And so we shared a lot of time together, a lot of space as parents, because I tell people I don't trust everybody with my kids, and she was one of them that I did trust with my kids, and I'm sure it was the same on her side.
And
she's gone. She's left this earth, and so it just made Wellness Wednesday mean so much more to me, because you could be here today and gone today. Literally. So we're losing a lot of people.
We really have to
be looking about ourselves to ensure that we are okay.
Making sure that
our bodies are okay, but our minds are okay, our spirits are okay, our emotions are okay. That is so important. So I just wanted to say that. It is the 28th of April. So last plug for the executive health check over at Health City. With that, you can get a physician consultation, blood count test, blood sugar test, fat profile, chest x-rays, uric acid and urine exams, thyroid panel test, liver and kidney function, electrocardiogram, which is the ECG, and some of them, like I did a comprehensive one, and if you're a lady, you get to see the gynecologist, and if you're a man, you get to do your PSA and stuff. So now, since Health City is celebrating 7 years of caring for Kiman,
with this special offer,
if you book before the end of April, so guys, you have 2 more days. If you book before that, you will get $500 executive health check, and so that's like a $300 or $400 savings. Okay, so make an appointment today. Peace of mind for your health is within your reach. 945-4040 or 640-4040, or go to healthcitycaymanislands.com and book your executive health check. Trust me, I had this done in October, and I know the listening audience must be tired of hearing me talk about my cholesterol and how high that was. And it's because I went and got this health check done, because so many people were just like ill and I've lost so many friends, so many people my age, like you know what I mean, like you've heard about since you've been back, a couple of people we've gone to school with that have just passed away, and I said, let me go and check myself and see what's going on, and I found out that my cholesterol was a little high, and in changing my diet and different things, it went back down. After like 5-6 months, I went back, got the recheck, which is also free because you go back and they check your blood again. And I'm so happy that
I was able to do that.
For myself, really. And I think, why not? We're at that age and stage of our lives where we need to be taking care of ourselves. We shouldn't be running. We need to
work to live,
not live to work. Yeah. And so absolutely. So I think definitely go out and get that done. Call Health City today to get your $500 executive health check. 640-4040. All right. Thank you so much once again for joining me this afternoon. Now, I was looking up some things because of changing my diet a little bit. I looked up some stuff about
the benefits of honey.
So I'm going to just talk a little bit about the benefits of honey as opposed to sugar. All right. Since ancient times, honey has been used as both a food and a medicine. It's very high in beneficial plant compounds and offers several health benefits. Honey is particularly healthy when used instead of refined sugar, which is 100% empty calories. All right. And I know K-Miners, we love sugar. We love sweet. We just put that down. I spoke to Dr. Steve Matfield today, and he said, I stopped eating salt, I stopped eating sugar, I grow my own chickens. He said, I grow my own. He says, I drink tea, and I grow my own tea. Ginger, garlic,
fever grass. He has any fever grass?
I have fever grass. So if you want some, I can get you some. Definitely. And of course, fancy people call it lemongrass. We call it fever grass. He was saying like all these things that he has stopped eating. He's 86 years old. He looks amazing.
Really?
Yes.
He
looks amazing. He's in great health. Oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So here are some health benefits of honey. Honey contains some nutrients. So honey is a sweet, thick liquid made by honeybees.
The bees collect
the sugar.
Mainly the
sugar-rich nectar flowers from their environment. Once inside the beehive, they repeatedly consume, digest, and regurgitate the nectar. The end product is honey, a liquid that serves as stored food for bees. The smell, color, and taste depend on the types of flower visited. Nutritionally, 1 tablespoon of honey contains 64 calories and 17 grams of sugar, including fructose, glucose, maltose, and sucrose.
It contains
no fiber, fat, or protein. It also contains trace amounts, several vitamins and minerals. But you would have to eat many pounds to fulfill your daily requirements. So where honey shines is in its content of bioactive plant compounds and antioxidants. Darker types tend to be even higher in these compounds than lighter types. So the darker ones are better.
So honey is thick.
It's a sweet liquid. It's made by honeybees, low in vitamins and minerals, but maybe high in some plant compounds. So that's one thing. High quality honey is also rich in antioxidants. It contains a number of antioxidants, including phenolic compounds like flavonoids. And scientists believe that the combination of these compounds give honey its antioxidant power. Interestingly, 2 studies have shown that buckwheat honey increases the antioxidant value of your blood, and it's been linked to reduce risk of heart attacks, strokes, and some types of cancer. And it may also promote eye health.
Okay. Now you had a couple.
I'm going to share that you had.
All right, so you have
number 3.
Number 3.
It says honey less bad than sugar for diabetes. The evidence on honey and diabetes is mixed. On one hand, it can reduce several risk factors for heart disease common in people with type 2 diabetes.
For example, it lowers bad LDL cholesterol, triglycerides, and inflammation, while raising good HDL cholesterol. However,
if you know about the whole cholesterol stuff like that, it's talking about why honey is better. Because now I know about the cholesterol stuff because I was dealing with that a couple of months ago. So that's good. So honey is better for the good cholesterol. Yeah. Okay.
However, some
studies have found that it can also increase blood sugar levels, just not as much as refined sugar.
While honey may
be slightly better than refined sugar for people with diabetes, it should still be consumed with caution.
In
People
fact,
with
people with diabetes may do best by minimizing all high carb foods,
which in
which in mind, keep in mind,
to
sorry, to that certain types of honey may
alterate
alterate
with plain
with
sugar,
plain sugar, although the honey alteration is illegal to most countries, it remains widespread problems.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
So now
Okay.
honey can
So
lower
now honey can lower
triglycerides too.
triglycerides too. It actually elevated blood triglycerides are another risk for heart disease, and it's associated with insulin resistance. And so
elevated
triglycerides are the risk for heart disease and type 2 diabetes. But several studies show that honey can lower these triglyceride levels, and especially when used as a sugar substitute. So that's also good.
The
antioxidants in it are linked to other beneficial effects on heart health. So honey is rich in it's a rich source of phenols and other antioxidant compounds, and many of these have been linked to a reduced risk of heart disease. They may help the arteries in your heart dilate, increasing blood flow to your heart. They may also help prevent blood clot formation, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Furthermore, one study in rats showed that honey protected the heart from oxidative stress. Also, there's no long-term human study available on honey and heart health. And you take the results. Obviously, take these with a grain of salt. But the antioxidants in honey have been linked to beneficial effects on heart health, including increased blood flow to your heart and a reduced risk of blood clot formation, which is good. Honey also promotes burn and wound healing. Topical honey treatment has been used to heal wounds and burns since ancient Egypt and is still common today. Studies on honey and wound care found honey most effective at healing partial thickness burns and wounds that have become infected after surgery. Honey is also an effective treatment for diabetic foot ulcers, which are serious complications that can lead to amputation. One study reported the success rate with honey is 43% as a wound treatment. Now, honey's healing powers come from its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory effects, as well as its ability to nourish the surrounding tissues. So, I mean, that sounds like.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know honey was so very vital for the body.
I think absolutely. I think that when I was reading it, I was like, all right, this is good, because you know what? I started to lower my sugar intake. You like sugar?
Now and again. I'm not really a sugar person.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
I'm not really a sugar
Because
person.
sugar apparently is it's a drug.
I think
the first time in 17 months since I've been home, the first time I bought sugar was like last week.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
I
try to get brown sugar too, but honey, if you can replace it, and honey it has a taste to it too, so it's very different. But honey, does kind of heal. It also can help suppress coughs in children. We've been using. I don't know if your grandmother gave you like a little spoonful of honey when you're coughing. So it apparently for upper respiratory infections, if you get like a little spoonful of honey, for some reason it kind of breaks it up or something.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. Honey
soothes the throat.
So one study found that honey worked better than two common cough medications. Another study found that it reduced cough symptoms and improved sleep more than cough medication.
Honey should not be given
to children under 1 year of age, though. So remember that. So don't be careful of the things that we're giving young children to a certain age. Under one, they shouldn't get certain things anyway. So
over 1 year
but over 1 year of age, honey can act as a natural and safe cough suppressant, and also for adults. It can even be more effective than cough medicine. And so we spend a lot of money on medications and stuff. A lot of the pharmaceuticals don't want us to know certain things like this. About the fever brasty and the aloe, and they don't want you to know these things because they make a lot of money on medicine. So we have to be careful with that. So
even though honey is
delicious, it still has calories and sugar. So remember, healthier alternative to sugar, but you still have to choose a high quality brand. You still have to, look at some of the lower quality ones mixed with syrup, and syrup also would have the sugar. So, keep in mind the honey should be consumed in moderation, as it's still high in calories and sugar. The benefits of honey are most pronounced when it's replacing another unhealthier sweetener. At the end of the day, honey is less bad sweetener than sugar and high fructose
So
corn
it's
syrup.
less
So
bad.
it's less bad, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that you can just be like, all right, I'm going to go ahead now and drink as much honey as I can. No, that's not what it's saying at all. So
for sure, we want to definitely
take it in moderation. As usual, everything needs to be taken in moderation. Think so?
Yes, of course, everything has to be done in moderation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too much and everything is not good.
What is it? Too much of a good thing is bad.
The old people say,
moderation is the key.
She said, too much of a good thing. Thank you all so much for break. Just want to remind you about the Aren't You Glad Sunset Gala, which will be on May 22nd. That's the Cayman Islands Meals on Wheels. Seating is available for any size group. You can reserve your tickets today. Call 769-1974
or email
info@mealsonwheels.ky. The seat will include a 3-course gourmet meal at the Grand Old House, silent auction and live auction, dine and dash vouchers, raffle prizes, photo booth, live entertainment and more. Orange attire is encouraged. So it's the Sunset Gala at the Grand Old House, and they're looking for you to come on out and support this May 22nd. Wear orange or wear something of orange. Aren't you glad? And it's going to be a great fundraising event. It is one of the largest events for Meals on Wheels, and as you heard, it takes $33,000 to support Meals on Wheels each month. $33,000, and the government gives about 15% of that. So all their fundraising activities are what funds this program that feeds our seniors and shut in and disabled in our community. Okay, so
go and check it
out. 769-1974 or info@mealsonwheels.ky, or go to their website, Meals on Wheels, Cayman Islands. You can just Google that and get all the information that you want. You can also volunteer to adopt a senior or sponsor a senior. It's $5 a day. So you could do it for the week or for the month or for the year. Just help out. Thank you all for going on to that website and supporting that, because we're all one people, right? And it's we have to all pull together and live like the village, right? It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to take care of our elderly and our needy in the communities. All right, we'll be back with more. This is your Straight Talk Drive 5 show. It is Wellness Wednesdays. This is Catherine Tyson, and I'm here with my guest, Miss Cheryl Cole, and we shall be back just after these messages. Talk to you in just a couple of minutes.
3700. One straight shall come on Star 927. The countdown is on. Island Heritage Insurance annual charity.
do this thing called work, this necessary evil, in order for us to live our lives, right? And to focus on our families. And parenting, it's such a huge thing. And I want to thank you, you all who kind of stop me when you see me and say you're enjoying the show, and you appreciate all the discussions that we have. And parenting is one of those huge issues that I think I definitely want to spend some time on, because it's so important. And on Wellness Wednesday, I think it's a good time to talk about it, because being a mom, being a father, being a parent, it's such a huge responsibility, but it can take that toll on you, right? It can, it can knock you out. It is not for the faint hearted. It's going to be the biggest job that you would ever do in your life. Those of us who are parents, we know that for a fact. Those of us who are contemplating being parents, we definitely want you to know that. But you're going to get in what you put in. Going to get out what you put in. So, have no fear. Some have gone before you, and we are here and kind of ripe for the taking, type of thing. So let's just do this. So just wanted to just talk with you a little bit about being a parent. All right, there are a couple of shoulds that I wanted to talk to you about that I found in this little book. I won't even tell you what book it is. Cheryl, you're here with me. You riding with me, right? And we have those. So let's look at a couple of do's here. All right. Let's see. There have been some things that you learned. Note to yourself. Reminders that have worked. Do's. Do put my kids first. Okay. Do you believe that?
Of course, your kids is your first priority.
Think so. I think so. The fact that they are kids, that's an indicator that they're depending on you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you balance it out, of course. You make sure you're okay, but you got to balance it out. But make sure that your kids are your priority.
Yes, the kids, they are first. You have to put your all in them.
Yeah.
And it's a long-term investment. Because when they succeed, you succeed.
Oh my
you feel
goodness.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
It feels good.
That was a word right there, as they say in the church. That was a word. When they succeed, you succeed. That is the truth. Because a lot of parents experience it, when their children haven't done well in life, and they feel that to their core. It even feels worse than if it was you. So you're so right. When your kids succeed, you succeed. So you put them first. Do prioritize your life. You believe that, to prioritize your life?
Yes, you have to. You have to know what is important, what is not important. There's wants and there's needs. You have to look about your needs and leave the wants for later.
Right.
That's a long-term thing.
That's your dream.
That's a dream. That's something you hope for.
Yeah. And
it'll happen.
Yeah.
You can put that at the bottom of your list or at the back of your your prioritized list.
Right.
Yeah.
Or put it to the side so you can see it, but know that I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to that.
You finally get it, because you keep ticking off each day. You're ticking off, and you're getting closer.
Absolutely.
You can get closer.
Absolutely. You're right. And and in the same vein, do live within your means. Yeah.
That's
so important.
Put the old people used to say, put the cap where you can reach it.
Right.
So,
right. Do live within your means, and meaning don't look to see what other people are doing and try to keep up with them.
Mimicking.
Know what your means are. Know what your life can manage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because and a lot of times you see people driving an expensive car. Trust me, they're paying the bank for that.
That's right.
And you probably want it. Can you afford it?
Right. You don't know their story.
You don't know their story.
Get out of people's story. That's their story.
Find your own story.
Right.
Make your own story.
Absolutely.
When you make your own story, you're going to have something to look forward to.
Right. And to be proud of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're going to say, this is what I achieved.
That's right.
This is my achievement.
Yeah. And so right after that, do be happy at other people's success, which came right on time. That statement is the truth. You don't know people's stories, so you can celebrate people. You can say, yay, more power to you. High five. It's okay, because it has nothing to do with, how some people, what the word we call it, bad mind?
Bad mind.
It's like, we bad mind people for, leave people alone.
Why should I be
bad mind you for your grass. It looks good. It looks really nice. Mine isn't growing. Your water bill is very high. I just imagine. So, me and hey,
And maybe
do I want the same water bill like
maybe I
you?
can afford that water bill.
Maybe, but
That's so funny that you said that. I have a friend who lives in Washington, and she sent me a picture of this new house that she bought. And let me tell you, oh, mansion, good grief. Oh, that's so beautiful. She showed me the ground. She showed me the landscaping. And she told me her water bill was $1,000
oh
a
dear
month.
God.
And I was like, okay, good. So that put things in perspective for me, because I'm thinking, yeah, it's beautiful, but your water bill is $1,000, and obviously you can afford that. That's great. So there's no bad mind or side eye that anyone should have for someone who can afford $1,000 water bill.
What about maintenance?
That's your
When it's
life.
time to paint the place, something needs
Exactly.
to be fixed.
So when you get there and you can do it, more power to you. But you don't need to be bothered about someone else doing something that has nothing to do with you, right? So
Exactly.
be happy at other people's success. Do set goals.
Set goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
have
one.
had to set a lot of goals in the last several years.
Yeah.
It has not been easy,
Yeah.
but in order to get to this point, I had to set my goals.
Yeah.
Because money was short and I just had to work with what was given to me. And at the end of school year, which is August, man, I don't know it, I had enough money to buy a ticket and come home and still have a few $100s in my pocket. And I'm thinking,
Because of your goals.
yeah, goal oriented.
Set your
Yeah,
goals.
set goals.
Yeah.
I know how to monitor my money.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about.
Yes. I have another term. I come up with terms all the time. I say, I spend money, money don't spend me. In other words, I'm in control of this thing here. Okay. Like, I'm spending you don't spend me. So in other words, I know what I need it for. I know how I have to handle it. I know if I spend it all right now, I might not have what I need next month or whatever. So, hey, I got to take my time, and you're teaching your children these things too. Parents, when you do these things, you're teaching your children. I bet you can tell me that your children, your older children, do some of the same things they saw you do.
You know what? That is so true.
Yep.
My second daughter, and just any parent inquisitively, you want to see what your children are up to
Right.
and how they're spending their money.
Right.
I looks in her cupboard and I look in her fridge and I think, wow, she really was watching me. She
Look
buys
at
in
that.
bulks.
Oh, so proud.
She buys in bulks and it makes me very proud.
Yeah.
She's got it together.
That's right.
So I'm thinking I've done a good job.
Exactly. All the stuff that you're putting in, you're going to get out. So parents, it's so important. You literally have people that are watching you, whether you think they're watching you or not. They're watching every single thing, and they're watching the good and the bad and the not so good and all the other stuff in between. Okay, so just know that you are teaching them one way or the other. You are teaching them one way or the other. So
you're the best teacher. We are the best teacher.
Yep, the best and worst. It's a very serious job.
Just hope that we're the best.
We're gonna hope. But what we're not gonna do anymore, listeners, we're not gonna keep hoping. We're gonna be doing. That's it. And when people say I'm trying, I say no, don't try. You got to do. All right. I put this down because this was a book from a single mama that I know. Do expect to be treated like a queen. Yes. What do you say about that, Miss Cheryl?
Oh boy. So many times. Usually when I would come home from university, I would stay with my daughter. Believe me, of course I didn't have a job, but she would say to me, Mom, make yourself comfortable, cook whatever you want, and I'm going to work. She made me I felt like the child. And for that for me was so, that made me felt so special because I looked at it and said, you know what? I'm away in university. I come home on holidays, but she's taking care of me, knowing that I don't have the means when I come home, but I was well cared for.
Yeah.
And to that, I am grateful.
Absolutely.
She's a lovely daughter.
Oh, that's amazing. And that is the truth. Ladies, we are queens. Expect to be treated like queens. Don't walk around expecting to be treated any less.
and you will get exactly what you expect. Okay. I just see a little comment from Patricia Powell saying, or people are grudgeful. So that was the bad mind, the grudgeful. That's right, Patricia. Thank you so much for listening and watching us. Don't be grudgeful, right? People, that's what we want to make sure. Do set boundaries for yourself. True?
Yes,
Set
boundaries. You got to set boundaries.
Meaning
Yes.
you got to know when to say no also.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
No.
so,
Even when you want to say yes, it could be possible.
Yeah.
But you have to say no.
No is a word.
No.
No is a word. And
No.
mothers,
It
for some
doesn't
reason,
seem like it's going to work.
well,
But it's
mothers
no.
for some reason think that no isn't a word. It's a word. You can tell no to your sisters and your brothers and your family. You can say no. You can say no. I'm not saying no all the time. I'm just saying if you got to say no, say no. Because if you have to preserve yourself, you have to refill your tank. If you have to, make sure that you're okay, and if you have to do that because you need to take care of your children, then you have to learn that no is a word.
Yes.
And it's okay to say it. All right. What's that other one there?
Do think about the consequences of your actions.
How's that one?
Wow.
Yeah.
Consequences. Every action has consequences.
Everyone.
So we have to think before we act.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just have to think.
Can't just be out there willy-nilly. You're a parent. You just can't be out there doing anything.
No.
Everything you're doing is representing you and your family, and you have got to be taking it seriously. So, think about the consequences of your action. That silly little moment that you were angry, or that silly little moment that, you just reacted, and then you sit down later and go, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Oh, and it's too late. And sometimes there are dire consequences because of it. So be very, very careful.
It can leave a lifetime of stain on the minds of the most important people in your life, which are your kids.
Absolutely.
Because kids have a way of coming back to you and trying to remind you of certain things.
Of what you did.
Yes.
Of what you did, what you said. Trust me, I know.
An example, I remember one year I came home from university. Tiffany said to me, Mommy, please turn off the lights. You're burning my lights unnecessary. And I thought, dear me. She said, yes, Mom. You used to tell us, turn off my lights.
The child becomes the parent. Oh, yeah. No, I say my daughter is my mother all the time.
Yeah.
Too. And my mother used to say I was her mother all the time.
And you know what? I didn't teach her anything wrong.
That's right.
I guess it was just the way it was said.
Absolutely.
We just have to be mindful of what we say things.
Yeah.
Because they can be a bit tarnishing on them.
We have to be careful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But definitely think about the consequences of your actions to ensure that your children and you are okay, and that whatever the results of it will be, it won't be dire, and it won't be something that you can't recover from, because that's huge.
Yes, that's
that's
the backlash.
And I love this one. Do love your kids to pieces. Oh my goodness. Do love them. Love on them, love them, cheer them on, be their biggest fan, okay? Be that cheerleader in the corner. Do not be that parent that's always finding fault with them. Listen, celebrate them, let them know they are the best thing, so that when they go out into the world, they are armed with all of this amazing feeling that they know they are secure. There is somebody in the world that thinks they are the bee's knees. So when they go out there and somebody tells them they're not, they'll say, oh, you're lying. That's what I want. I always wanted my children, when they went out there and someone told them something, they could say, no, that's not true. Actually, I am smart. Actually, I am beautiful. Actually, I am good. I'm good enough. I am enough, because they were filled with that in my house. So you are in charge of your house. All the listeners I'm talking to, you're in charge of your house. Parents, fill your children up so when they go out there, they don't need someone else to fill them, but people cannot empty them. People cannot affect them, because the people that they love and trust the most has filled them, and they are sure about what they know. And they know they are 100% A-okay.
Exactly.
That's
I
what you
totally agree with that.
Do that in your house. Let them know you are it. I saw your daughter when she was in Cayman Islands, and let me tell you something. That girl, I was cheering for her. I was like, look at Miss Thing. She walked that runway. She had one banging body. She's so beautiful. She's such a smart person. And you weren't here. You were in right?
UK.
But I saw her and I was like, she just looks like somebody I know.
No, really.
Yes, and I was just very proud of her for you, because that was my friend's daughter, and right on that, love your kids to pieces, but love them enough to discipline them. What do you think about that?
Discipline is very important.
Yes, it is.
You can still love your kids to pieces, but you have to discipline them.
Yeah.
The Bible says, don't spare the rod and spoil a child.
Yeah, and then and discipline doesn't mean that you're hitting them, knocking them in their back or dragging them by their hair or punching them in their face. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about correcting them, letting them know when they're wrong, letting them know, that there are consequences to their actions.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
We were talking a few days ago about this old teacher that we used to have way back in the in the 70s, Miss Glida Forbes. Many of you out there in Radio Land might remember Miss Glida Forbes. In her all-age school, when we kids were rude, she would put us to stand in the corner and face the wall. Then if it continues, she'd blindfold you.
Yeah.
And you'd stand there for about 10 minutes.
Okay. And I think there's a party that didn't want that. So you're saying, you know what, let me stop doing whatever I'm doing so I don't get this.
So, a lot of times, throwing a blow at your child, hitting your child, striking your child is not the way to actually deal with it.
Absolutely not. I am that parent, that person that absolutely disagrees with anything like that. I've had civilized children. I raised civilized children. I raised people that listen, people that I expect to listen. When I speak to them, I expect that they're going to listen. I expect them to be reasonable. I am the adult and I make the decisions. But at the end of the day, I love them. And if you love something, I don't think I want to be knocking something around that I love.
No, you don't.
There was once my son, who was 9 years old, and he did something and I just grabbed his hand really quick. I just grabbed him and he said, hello, could you just tell me what I was doing? Like, he looked at me like I was some barbarian from, like the caves or something. He was like, you don't have to grab me like that. And I was like, wow.
He was defending himself.
And I looked at him and this is what I said. I said, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't have to grab you, but guess what? I had been speaking to you and you seem to be ignoring me. So can we do this then? Can we ensure that when I speak to you, you don't ignore me and then I won't have to grab you? And he's like, okay. And I never had another issue with that particular child. Never. But it was like his understanding of you don't need to grab me was an opportunity for me to say, okay, I get that. So can you now understand why I need you to not ignore me? I need you to listen to me when I'm speaking to you. And so it was almost like us making this deal with each other, and I feel like sometimes that's necessary, to be able to raise people that are thinking people that are able to make decisions, that you're able to say, all right, let's be reasonable about this then, and I always tell parents too, I never got tired of taking away the bicycle and not letting them ride. I've never got tired of them sitting down on the couch and not being able to watch TV. I never got tired of that, but they got tired of it. So, I'm watching my TV. You're just not going to watch it. So long as you're okay with not going outside and playing with your friends, we're cool. If you're tired of it, just like what Ms. Glida Forbes was doing, looks like you might change your behavior then. So I always tell parents, try those kind of things as opposed to grabbing them, hitting them, knocking them around, because that just breeds resentment sometimes.
It does. And kids don't forget those things.
They don't forget.
They don't.
They
I'm
do
so sorry.
not forget.
No.
They will tell you you forgot and they don't forget.
Yep. They will remind you of what you done.
You don't even remember where it was, and they will tell you. It's the truth. It is the truth. And the last do on this list, do pay your rent or mortgage on time. How you like that one?
Oh, dear Lord.
It's simple, but
you have to make sure that these things are done.
Kind of crucial.
Yeah, these are very, very important. They're vital.
Well, because if you don't,
it's well-being,
pay for the roof over your head, man.
Yes.
That's a priority too. And
Gotta
you
pay
know
that
what?
rent.
And also, if you're in a spot where you're living in a situation where you can't afford that particular rent or mortgage, then you might have to make some adjustments. Whether that's, I don't know, rent out a room, or do you have to sell, or do you have to move out, or do you have to get a smaller place? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do you have to downsize? But you need to be in a spot where you can afford what, where you're living.
Mhm.
And so it might be that, okay, I love this place, but I'm not ready for this place right now financially. So I'm going to have
Affordable rent.
to, skinny down or
Mhm.
downsize, or go get assistance if you need the assistance. Like, don't be embarrassed to go to NAU if you need assistance.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's what they're there for, to help you get on your feet. So don't feel like, it's far worse for you to be owing people a month or 2 months or 3 months, going into foreclosure, or being put out, and your children are moving for the 5th time this year because you're running from people because you owe them rent. That is much worse than seeking assistance if you need it, or getting that second job.
And that can have a negative impact on a child,
Of
having to
course.
move every 3 months or every 2 months to a different place.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's difficult, and they understand what's happening.
Yep.
And this is where some of the setbacks from school come from. And then what we have is a total breakdown in the system.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. All right, we're going to get quick now. Some don'ts. Don't allow your kids to talk back to you. You believe in that?
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm gonna don't laugh when they cuss. So those two are kind of together. Some people
Oh,
will laugh when
yeah.
kids are being rude.
Yeah. I've never had any of my kids to use foul language.
Right.
Never. Once I had to slap, I think it was my second daughter, and she told my son, which is Cameron, a few months ago, she said, "Don't give mommy your mouth, because let me remind you, when I was about 13 years old,
She
I
slapped
gave
me.
her my mouth, and I don't know where the box came from, but I will never forget it,
Oh,
and I
goodness.
haven't done it since."
Oh
You have to
my.
it's just, it wasn't the right way to react.
Yeah.
But then I was not expecting my child
Yeah.
to badmouth
Well,
me, because that's not how I raise her.
Yeah, I have. Caitlin tells me a slapping story too. I don't remember it, but she tells me that, I think it was one story and one time, and I think, we got corrected after that. I don't think she ever did whatever she did after that, because
That's it.
sometimes you're Caymanian, you're Caribbean, you're like, what you just did, and that made me like, oh goodness. All right, you know what? It's that clean slate again. Next day, that was that night. Lord, help me do it different tomorrow. Let me, let us be civilized here. So you know what, they do forgive us, right? And just to make sure whatever we're doing is not irreparable. But yeah, it's forgive yourself, parents, if you have those moments. We're just talking to you about doing some different things, just some alternatives. Don't laugh when they cuss. It's not funny. Don't pierce your little son's ear. I don't know. I might be stepping on some toes. I just think, let him be older and pierce his own ears if he wants it.
Mhm.
I see a little 5-year-old with their ears pierced, I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, and I already see he has like an attitude. He's 5 and he's already has this little Dawn, like I'm a Dawn attitude. Like, I think let him be 5.
Yeah, of
Let
course.
him not look like he's a ladies' man. Like, stop it. Like, let him just be a little kid.
Forcing him to grow up too fast.
Exactly. Giving him like this little attitude thing. Like, stop
Mhm.
it. Don't think beating your child is good discipline. We talked about that already. Oh my goodness. Don't let your kids call anyone else daddy. Come on. Unless he's this amazing person that you've married and he's become a father to your child. And you know what I mean? Like, there's kind of just not everybody. Like, I've heard kids tell me they got 3. Oh, that was my 3rd daddy. I was like, what? Stop it. Ladies, come on. Let's not be crazy. And don't let your kids call other people mommy also. Like, it's the same, kind of the same thing if you're a single father, and of course we're talking about if you happen to find yourself single parenting.
And parents, don't use that little trick on the kids where you say, "Oh, this is Aunt Catherine and Aunt Cheryl." Kids are very smart these days.
Right.
They know.
A lot of aunties.
It's too much aunties.
A lot of aunties. Auntie sleeps over,
Yes.
And don't talk your business to your kids either. That's another thing. Like, you know, don't if you are single, if you're co-parenting, like don't talk about the other parent to your children. Like don't badmouth the other parent. Take the high road. If you have a problem, deal with the other parent about it. Be the adults about it, but don't burden your children with information that they don't know what to do with. They love both of you. Let them love both of you. Let them be pure and be children and just be amazing humans and give them a chance. Not to think, oh my goodness, what you just said about mommy, does that make her a bad person or does that make you a bad guy for talking about her, and vice versa. So just find friends. Call a friend. Go talk to grown-ups about this stuff, not your children, right? Um, Another thing, don't introduce everybody that you date to your children. If you
No.
are single, it's not necessary. Let them make the cut first and give yourself the opportunity to say, what's the cut? Is it 6 months? Is it 6 weeks? Is it whatever? Let
Yeah,
them make the cut first. Yeah.
absolutely. I
Let's
agree
not
with
have a
that.
revolving door with your
Yeah,
children.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. It's not necessary.
No, and then just a bit of advice. I mean, sometimes you might want to spend time with that person. Have somebody else sleep over
Right.
with the kids, and
Right. Find a babysitter.
yeah, find a
Yeah.
babysitter, and you take your time outside of the house, and
Right.
just so that we're on a level playing field.
Yep.
Yeah, give the kids that respect.
Exactly. My
Yeah.
friend said that she used to sneak out in the evening, like late, and she'd come back in the morning. And one morning she came in, and her little child was like, "Well, where'd you go?" She goes, "Oh, I went for a run." She was in slippers. They see stuff.
This is what we're talking about. Kids, you have to be very
They
careful. They're
know.
clever.
They pay
They're
attention to
clever kids.
everything. All
Clever.
right, for sure. A couple of others, and then we're going to be closing off. Gosh, the time has gone. Don't buy your kids $100 sneakers or more expensive unless you're rich. Stop it, okay? And the last two that I love and I want to leave us with today. Well, yeah, don't steal ever. Don't make off with the extra change that you got at the teller. That's not a blessing, it's a test. Don't lie to your children. If you lie to your children, they will not be able to know when to believe you, and they will lie to you. If you lie to your children and they know, they're going to lie to you. You're teaching them something. Isn't that
Exactly.
true?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Don't settle for anything less than you deserve. Don't buy a truckload of Christmas gifts if your rent or mortgage isn't paid. And you know what? Last but not least, and I know I had said the other ones were last, but this is definitely last. Do not go on vacation or staycation if you can't afford it.
Yeah, there you go. You
Doesn't
use your rent money and go on staycation, and then you
right.
can't pay your rent when
And
you come back.
then you're mad with the landlord. Then you're talking about and won't come by my house and won't embarrass me. They want their rent. You're not getting foreclosed on because the bank is mean. So make some good decisions. You're a parent, it's your responsibility. Make some good decisions. Cheryl, this time has just flown by. It is the end of the show.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
I don't
Thank
know.
you.
I don't know if I would have done it this way by myself. So yeah, you got to come back another time.
Yeah, you should making room for me now.
I sure am. And listeners, thank you, because I don't do it without you. Obviously, if you're not listening, then we ain't saying nothing. Thank you so much for joining me this Wellness Wednesdays. If you're a parent, just remember, love your children, take care of them, make plans, set goals, make good decisions, get a support system, get friends, talk with friends, but more importantly, put your kids first, love them, take care of them, prepare the world for them and prepare them for the world. And what you put in, you're going to always get out. So put some good stuff in and you're going to get that good stuff out. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Have a great evening.
To the culture.
You